Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good spring break. We're back for another week of online learning. I hope your break was interesting, at least. You'll have some memories that are different than spring breaks in the past, probably. My family spent a lot of time just hanging out outside, planting some stuff in a little garden, did some puzzles and games, went to Franklin's Park, walked the dog a lot, just enjoyed being together. So hopefully you had a good time with your family and you are staying safe through all this. Anyway, we are going to start this week with picking up where we left off right before you guys were sent home. We were in the microbiology unit, and some of you had finished a lot of your packet, some of you hadn't finished a lot of your packet. So I can't make the assumption that you guys have your packets at home with you. A lot of you have lost them. You probably left them in your locker or who knows where. So we're going to start with those packets. So if you have your packet, you might be able to use it this week to transfer some of your stuff if you've already done some of the work into the assignment that you need to turn in. One thing I do want to touch on is turning in assignments in Google Classroom. Some of you are doing the work and you're not hitting the turn in button. And so it looks at first to me like you're not turning them in. But when I go and look at your work, I can look and see if you've even opened the assignment, see if you've even started. And some of you actually have it totally finished, but you aren't turning them in. So if you can please remember to hit the turn in button. You don't have to do the turn in on if it's a Google form, like if it's one of those quizzes or assessments, because when you submit that, that's done. But if it's an assignment where you're typing in answers, and you need to make sure that you turn that in. So that's just a little bit on that. To just give you our objective for today, it says, I'll be able to recall cell processes and functions necessary for life by listening to a review and completing the assessment with 80% accuracy. So my hope is that you'll get at least an 80 on your little assessment that follows this. And this is what you should have learned this year in this unit. So we're kind of just hitting on the basics. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, and you'll have time to work on that assessment. And you can always go back and look here or look at your packet, look in your notes. Hopefully you have your notebooks at home. So just know that you can use your notes to do the assessment at the end. Quick reminder or quick review on photosynthesis and cellular respiration. You should remember that these are complementary chemical equations. So in photosynthesis, in the chloroplast, you are making glucose. Glucose is being created from energy from the sun. And in that process, oxygen is released. So oxygen is released and glucose is made for the plant. So that's the food for the plant. You guys can eat food, plants can't eat food. They have to make their own food. So that food goes into the mitochondria. That oxygen goes into the mitochondria, and the mitochondria produces energy. And if you remember, the energy was ATP, and that's the energy that your cells need to do the work. And when they make their ATP, there are byproducts, water and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide and water both go into the process of photosynthesis. So it goes around and round and round. So you and plants, you and trees, you and grass, you and the phytoplankton in the ocean, you are relying on each other for life. So just a quick reminder on that. Another look at, let me erase all this stuff. Another look at photosynthesis. So just to look at photosynthesis by itself, it's done by producers. So producers are plants, also phytoplankton in the ocean, anything that has chloroplasts and can make its own food. It takes place in the chloroplast. Its purpose is to create food. And the equation for that is shown right here. So you should be really familiar with this equation. You should be able to recognize carbon dioxide, water. This is the glucose molecule. Remember, you had to draw the glucose molecule in your station, so it's a really big molecule. You can look at the number of atoms. It's got 24 atoms in one molecule. So this is your glucose that is made in photosynthesis. Okay, so that's a quick review of photosynthesis. Moving on to cellular respiration. So cellular respiration is what takes your energy and it creates ATP. So you do need to breathe in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide. And that process of cellular respiration needs the oxygen to go in, and it produces the ATP within the mitochondria in the cell. So that was an organelle within the cell. The mighty mitochondria makes the ATP. And in the process, water vapor is given off and carbon dioxide is given off. So that is a quick review of cellular respiration. Consumers and producers go through cellular respiration. So there's always confusion on, well, plants don't go through cellular respiration. Absolutely, yes, they do. They have to take the glucose that they make and they have to make ATP, which is what their cells use to do their cellular jobs. So you and plants both go through cellular respiration. Plants obviously photosynthesize. You don't photosynthesize, but you take that glucose from the plants, and the plants are at the base of our food chain. So quick reminder of those two processes. And again, the purpose of cellular respiration is to break down food and make your ATP. So you should be pretty good there, hopefully. How do these equations relate? They are inverse of each other. So what comes out of one goes into the other. And we talked about that in depth before you left. A reminder, what is an autotroph? An autotroph is a plant or a phytoplankton in the ocean. It is something that can make its own food. So it has chloroplasts that can convert the sunlight energy into glucose. Heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, you are a heterotroph. You have to take in your own food. You have to eat. Just like fungi. Remember we talked about fungi. Those are also heterotrophs. They have to take in food from their environment. They cannot photosynthesize. So there is a big difference between an autotroph and a heterotroph. Biggest thing to come out of this is ATP. And ATP is the energy that your cells need to do absolutely anything that they do. So moving on to, what do your cells need to do? Why do your cells need to reproduce? Why do you need more cells? So let me move this picture here. Move it over there. Can erase this. Why do your cells reproduce? So your cells reproduce to grow. Like, obviously you guys are not the same size as you were when you were a baby. Like, you are growing like crazy right now. So your cells need to grow. You need to repair yourself. If you get cut, if you tear your muscle, if you do anything that your body needs to repair itself, it's got to reproduce new cells in order to do that. And then last but not least is reproduction. So got to be able to make more. There are two ways that cells divide, and almost all of your cells reproduce by this process of mitosis. Mitosis makes an exact copy of the cell. So you can see from this picture over here, you have got an exact copy. So those are two of the same cells. In meiosis, you are shuffling genetic information. So when you're shuffling genetic information, you're getting different cells. So down here, you can see that these cells are not the same. So they are different cells being made in the process of meiosis. And meiosis, just to be clear, meiosis only happens in your sex cells. So sperm and egg are the only things that go through meiosis. And that is to shuffle the genetic information. So you get some genetic information from mom, some from dad. Same thing in any kind of organism that goes through sexual reproduction. So mitosis and meiosis are two ways in which cells divide. And again, most of your cells in your body divide by mitosis, and they make exact copies. So you will get more skin cells, you will get more bone cells, you will get more heart cells, lung cells, liver cells, whatever kind of cell is going through mitosis. So that is cellular reproduction. I kind of went through that. What kind of molecules? So in order for you to be healthy, what kind of molecules do you need to fuel your body? And this is right where we left off before you guys went home. You need proteins, you need carbohydrates, you need fats, you need your vitamins and minerals, and you need water. Some of you, I tried to have you guys put your diet and exercise notes in your notebook. And those were a really simple set of notes. And I know everybody didn't get them, but some of you did. I'm going to put the PowerPoint that goes with those notes in with the assignment today. But obviously, you don't have to do it. Like this is the basis of what you need to know. So you need to know that proteins, they build and repair your muscle tissue. And you can get proteins from things like meat, dairy, nuts. Carbohydrates, that's where you get your energy from. So pastas, breads, simple fruits, you eat sugar, candy. Like when you get hyper from candy, it's because it has a lot of sugar in it. Fats, that is helpful in protecting your organs and keeping your body warm. Obviously, fatty foods are butters, oil, avocado. Dairy products have a lot of fat. Fish actually has fat, and it's good fat for your body. Like some fats are better for you than other fats. Vitamins and minerals. You need vitamins and minerals in order to help your body function better, and you can get a lot of your vitamins and minerals in vegetables and fruit. And water. So you need to drink water, you need to stay hydrated, because that's what helps move all of this stuff around your body. But that is basically our little molecular biology unit in a nutshell. So kind of broken down, super, super quick and simple. Again, those packets, you can put your packets aside. I'm not going to collect them, obviously. And we're going to do a little bit more with this material this week. We're going to talk about GMOs again. We're going to do a little bit of biotech. And next week, we are going to move on to a new unit completely. So we're going to move into the water unit next week. And that's kind of just so you know where we're headed. So anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch this. And don't forget to do your assessment. Just submit your assessment and you will be done for the day. So happy Monday. Still miss you guys. It is crazy that we are out of school this long. Never expected this, and it's just a new normal for right now. So hang in there. If you need me, please, please, please email, and I will call you or email you back or whatever you need me to do. So just don't be afraid to ask questions, or if you're confused, please, please let me know.